everybody, what's going on with you all today? I'm bringing you a story from Deadline because we are going to be talking about Star Wars. Now, if you have not been paying attention for the last 24 to 48 hours, there was a huge Star Wars celebration, and it looks like Kathleen Kennedy has come out and announced a bunch of new Star Wars shows and movies. And yeah, it's kind of a doozy. It's a bummer. I was watching these trailers and I was reading all of these interviews and listening to Kathleen Kennedy talk, and I was emanating disappointment, okay? Just so much disappointment. I was basically depressed watching this because it's so sad. After everything that Disney has put us through these past few years, now they're going to just double and triple down 1,000%. If you see the title here, we're going to read it together. Daisy Ridley returning as Rey in Star Wars movie from Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy and Stephen Knight. Now, if you know who Stephen Knight is, he did Peaky Blinders. Obaid-Chinoy, she's actually an Oscar winner, I believe, an Oscar or Emmy winner. We're going to read about it. But they're making a new movie. I think Damon Lindelof was previously attached to this movie that Obaid-Chinoy is making, but he recently detached himself. I'm actually really happy about that because I can't stand Damon Lindelof's storytelling. But we're going to read this article together. So, Daisy Ridley is set to reprise her role as Rey in the upcoming Star Wars movie directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, while Dave Filoni and James Mangold will helm other films in the franchise. So, yeah, we all wanted Kathleen Kennedy out because she's done nothing but ruin Star Wars for the past few years, but it looks like she's here to stay for the long term. She's not going anywhere, and she has made it very clear to us that she's going to be around for a long time. The news was revealed Friday morning at the Star Wars celebration in London, which saw a guest appearance from Ridley. That's right, she came out and she was like, I don't know what to do, I'm just so happy to be here. Because I guess she's just been out of the spotlight since 2019 when the last Star Wars movie came out. And she hasn't been getting a lot of work, and I don't think that's really her fault. I don't really have a problem with Daisy Ridley specifically. I think that she's a pretty good actress for the most part. Unfortunately, the movies that she's been in have been complete disasters, and they've been widely hated by fans everywhere. But yeah, let's keep reading. Anyway, the news was revealed Friday, blah, blah, blah. Her movie from Obaid-Chinoy, penned by Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight, will be set after the events of her previous movie in the franchise, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and as she builds a new Jedi Order. And this is probably the most disturbing part of this article, the most disturbing part of this entire event, because how many years have Disney spent telling us to ignore the novels, to ignore the extended universe and all of the books that basically supposed to be Luke's story? I mean, Luke is supposed to rebuild the Jedi Order. He's supposed to create a new Jedi Order and be this ultimate Jedi Master that brings about an entirely new generation of Jedi. But they're basically just ripping off that story and giving it to Rey. Of course they are. I mean, they couldn't stop at giving her Luke Skywalker's last name. They had to go as far as to rip his legacy from his clutches and give it to her for no reason. And that's Kathleen Kennedy for you. That's exactly what you should expect from her. Meanwhile, Dave Filoni and James Mangold will helm the other two movies in the franchise, one of which will be centered on the dawn of the Jedi and the other on the New Republic. You know, I really don't have a problem with James Mangold overall, but seeing the Indiana Jones controversy lately, I mean, it's caused me to be a little bit skeptical about the direction he's taking these characters, and I can't really tell if he's going to be good for Star Wars or bad. Of course, time will tell, but Dave Filoni, oh my goodness. After watching all the episodes so far of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, I can tell you, I'm not sure what's going on with Dave Filoni or what's going on with Jon Favreau. I just don't know, but I don't have faith. I mean, Star Wars at this point is basically dead, in my opinion. Star Wars Celebration also saw appearances from the likes of Jude Law and Rosario Dawson, the stars of upcoming The Mandalorian spin-off Skeleton Crew and Ahsoka, respectively. Yeah, the Ahsoka trailer wasn't all that great either. It actually looks pretty boring. It doesn't look like it has a lot of life in it, and a lot of the actors and actresses are just kind of phoning in their lines. A couple of them just look like ripoffs, and most of the characters in the show are female, including one of the Sith dark side users. She just comes in, she looks like she's like 5'1", 5'2", with this huge lightsaber and just starts swinging it around. I'm just so done with it at this point. There's just nothing new. And all of these worlds and all of these characters, they just look and act the same. I'm really certain, 95% certain that Disney is just completely out of ideas when it comes to this IP. If you see right here, it shows her, I think it shows her coming out on stage, Daisy Ridley, and she really had nothing to say. She's like, well, I don't know what to say, but I'm just so glad to be here because that money is good. I mean, it had to be. It had to be. But I'm actually really interested in seeing what people have to say in the comments. I haven't done this in some time. Now, what does it say from Anonymous? The majority of the negative comments are from men. Can't get past a strong woman. You know, everyone's like, you just have a huge problem with women being the heroes of stories. That's not what Kathleen Kennedy wants. She clearly said in her interview that all she cares about is bringing quality storytelling to the table. I mean, does she though? You see right here, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy to direct one of 3 new Star Wars films. Pakistan-born Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy will be the first woman and first person of color to direct an episode of the blockbuster movie franchise. I love how that's the first thing they note in there. They don't talk about her Oscars or her awards and all of her writing credits. They're just like, she's the first woman and she's the first person of color. Kathleen Kennedy is an amazing head of Star Wars. She's just knocking 2 birds out with 1 stone. It's just ridiculous. Somehow Rey Palpatine returned. You know, everybody keeps saying that, but it's true. Somehow she came back, 15 years later. Maybe we'll get like a super old Reva that will be her mentor. And she's like, I used to be on the dark side too, but Obi-Wan, who's been whispering to you this whole time, saved me. And now I'm a light side user. Oh, by the way, I survived Execute Order 66. Brilliant news. Can't wait to see them all. I'm sure that's not sarcasm at all. My God, Disney really isn't finished trashing George Lucas's Star Wars legacy. The sequels were bad enough. Leave it alone for F's sake. And this other person said, I miss the days when every movie in the theater wasn't a franchise or a reboot. I wonder why no one goes there anymore. And then this other person's like, yeah, they're making the movies nonstop because no one goes anymore. So people are just arguing about this. And said, didn't she say she was done with the character? And then this anonymous person said, well, I actually kind of think that this is a reasonable take. Money talks, and or maybe Disney promised to greenlight a passion project of hers if she does something for them. Now, of course, that's 100% speculation, but I'm not sure. I do recall her saying something about her being done with Star Wars, her being done with Rey. I mean, but she's coming back, and they're not done. They're just going to completely ramp things up with Rey Skywalker, and they're going to double down on all of the things that Star Wars fans hated. Now, that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like and share it if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, consider subscribing, clicking that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. I hope to see you all again next time. Have a good day.